So today's discussion will be regarding this HANA Studio. We have the discussion about the column store and row store, but that will be a little more technical, so I'll try to take it tomorrow. So today we'll try to have a simple discussion about your HANA Studio. So that I want you people also to start some practicals, doing some practicals. Okay. So basically in HANA Studio, when you try to open this HANA Studio, then I'll show you how we normally start up. Okay. So in order to start this HANA Studio, so normally for you, what you have to do is I'll give you one remote IP address for you. So you have to go to remote desktop connection. Within this, I'll give the IP address to you. So once that is done, then you'll be having different users. So you'll log on with the user. Then,
Sir,
yeah.
I can't see the screen, sir.
Yeah, not it, right? Sorry. Again, I'll come back from the starting. So what you need to do is go to start. You have to go to the transaction or the code command as mstsc. So mstsc, you will have the option for starting your remote desktop connection. Then you need to give the IP address here. Then I'll give the user like user 1, user 2, user 3 for each and every participant. So currently I'm logging with an administrator. So once you log in into the remote server, so this is the remote server which you have been logged in. So within the remote server, in the bottom, you will have your Sap Hana Studio. Or go to start, click on find and type as HANA. Then you find here is HANA Studio. Just start it. So you see here the different systems which are there in this. So normally when you start your HANA Studio, so you'll have this welcome screen which will be appearing up. So this is your HANA Studio welcome screen. So when you get this, what you need to do is just go for Open Modular. So this screen is known as your modeling screen. Now, coming to our fundamental. So this is your welcome screen. How to start it? So when you start your Sap Hana Studio, go to Help. In between, if you want to just open that welcome screen from Help itself, now click on Welcome Screen. And fine. So this is a welcome screen. So what you can do is now click on Open Modular. So once it is done, so you come to your modeling screen here. Okay, coming back. Now here, when you come to the modeling screen, so you have some different windows here, right? This is window 1, window 2, window 3, window 4. So these windows we call as views. In HANA, we call this as views. These are the different views. And when I tell you are a modeler and you're trying to go for a modeling area, so this area of work what you're doing is known as your perspective. So there are different perspectives. So you can see here perspectives are based on views. There's a small icon coming in. So there's nothing but your perspectives. So modeling is one perspective. Administration is one perspective. Development is another perspective. Right? So like this, we have different perspectives. So in order to go to this perspectives, now there's a shortcut button here, open perspective here. So click on open perspective. So for example, you want to work on ABAP side, or you want to do BW modeling, or you want to debug, or you want to do the database development, right? Or you want to debug the procedures, or you want to develop your Java programs. Okay, so these are all the different areas we keep working on, right? And out of this perspectives, so the main perspective which we are going to work on is your SAP HANA modular perspective. Later we will be going for SAP HANA development perspective. So these are the two areas which we will be working on. Basis consultants or DBAs normally go to SAP HANA administration console. And if you are a BW consultant and you want to work on BW on HANA, then you have to go to BW modeling perspective. On top of your HANA, if you have your ECC or BW and you want to do some ABAP changes or modeling, creating some new programs, functions, right? Or you want to create your own proxy databases, right? So all these things will be done from your ABAP, right? So this is ABAP on HANA, what you'll be doing. This is BW on HANA. And if you want to go for your Java development, then you'll be going for your Java perspective of it. Cool. So currently I'll be going for SAP HANA modeling perspective. Now click on OK. And this is a shortcut for your modeling perspective. If you want to go for administration perspective, just click on this. This goes for your administration perspective. And this is for debugging perspective. Debugging your procedures or ABAP programs can be done within your debug perspective. And you want to do some development, XSJS development and other things and all, then we can go for your HANA development here. So you'll have some repository, then systems, then projects. We'll create some different projects inside this. So we'll come to this later, but just you can remind. So for the development, HANA development, we have to go for SAP HANA development perspective. And this is for your ABAP perspective. So ABAP perspective will be connected to your SAP ECC system or BW system, and you can do some ABAP development within the system, ABAP system. And coming to this BW modeling, so you can start, we can go for your BW server there, connectivity to your BW. Right? So I'll just show an overview also, like let me start up the BW because I not started this BW system. I'll connect to my server. So currently HANA database only is started, but SAP BW, because I have a BW system on HANA, but that server is not yet started. Okay. Now currently I'm going to start the BW server also. So if you want to see that how I'm going to start this BW server, say for example, I'll go to SAP logon. and this is my BW connection. Say for example BW local. Now when I try to double click this, because the application server is down, so it is not able to connect to the BW server, right? But HANA database is on. You can see that my HANA database is on, and SAP BW database, right? When the SAP BW starts, all its programs and database tables will be stored in this default schema. That is known as your SAP ABAP 1. And you can see the tables now. So all the tables which are required for SAP BW is already there within your HANA database. So when I go for this and try to go for open content, I can see the data within this particular database. So this is the default tables within your SAP BW. Now, but when I'm trying to connect to BW, because application server, the top application server is not on, so it is not able to connect it. So now what I'll do is I'll go to the Linux server. Go to my start SAP. This is the command what we give to start your application server. Now what it is doing is before starting your BW server, it is first checking whether the database is running or not. Okay, so checking HDB database, it is running. So then the application server starts within the Linux server. So I installed this BW on Linux OS itself. Okay, so HANA is also on Linux OS and BW also is on Linux OS. Okay, so we see that the BW server is started. It's fine. So now I'll close my remote connection and now I can go for, because once the application server is started up, then when I start my BW server, now it should respond. So application server is started and I'm able to see my BW server running. So here what happens is, now I'll try to just explain it. The people who are there already working in BW, they understand better. I think Manju can get it faster, but other people may be a little bit confused. But in order to get a small understanding, I'll try to explain you here. Okay, so here what happens is, like, we have the whole server. Within this, we have the database here. This is all in the RAM which is happening. So HANA database will be running on your RAM here. So this is my database, which is HANA. Okay, now this is already started. So yesterday I have shown you how to start your HANA database. So once the HANA database is started, then what you have to do is we need to start our BW application also, BW server also. So I started my BW server also, and this is my BW application server. So BW application server. Now the remote person, any person from remote site, what happens is he wants to talk to the BW server. In BW, what will be there? There will be some info cubes. Now this info cube data, by default, it will be stored in your HANA database. Right? Now this person from SAP GUI, he will connect to your application server and you will see the cubes, whatever is there here. But in the backend, the data will be stored in your HANA database. In the same fashion, if it is not BW, then what happens is, this is my ECC server. This is an ERP system where business transactions are happening. The bottom will be your HANA database. On top, you'll have all your applications, like your sales applications, HR applications, all the screens. When the end user from the remote location, because it's all your application server, now he talked to this, he'll create some sales orders here, then this goes to your application server, process it, but the tables will be there in the HANA database, right? Before, instead of this server HANA, we used to have, because now this is in RAM, the database is in RAM. Previously, this database was there in hard disk. This is Oracle. And ECC was in, now this is HANA. Previous scenario was, this was not there. We used to load all this Oracle data into RAM. From there, users used to see the data. But now we are not using this. So if it is ECC and HANA, right, suite and HANA, that means to say the database is in memory, and all these transactions will be happening directly from here. Now this particular server now is known as BW on HANA. Right? So previously this database, all the cube data used to get stored in your Oracle or SQL server, anything like. So this is not in memory, so this is used to be in your hard disk. So the new improvement is we're trying to remove the data from here, migrate the data into your HANA database. And now cubes, in order to get the faster response, right? We are trying to put this whole data of your enterprise within your database itself, and we can retrieve the data from here. Good, fine. Coming to point 2. Please, any doubts you have it, you can raise your hand or you can speak so that I can clarify.
Ravi,
Yeah.
now the database, HANA database,
Okay.
for BW or for ECC or for any other application, the database will be same, or you mean it's a single box or a multiple box?
It can be, right? It can be a single or multiple. That is based on your installation, but normally still the implementations are going on a separate boxes, not on the same.
So which means to say that for ECC there will be separate HANA database, for BW there will be separate HANA database.
Yes, definitely. 70% of all your implementations are going on separate databases. Right? So because previously also what happens is, like when I go for, so because all the projects now what is happening is, before also we had some ECC server, then after that the database was there in Oracle, right? Then after that your ECC tables and everything used to be there. For example, all the tables, everything is there, applications was there. Now always we don't want to disturb this ECC server, right? This is for extra reporting only. We want to do some extra reporting over this, but the main business transaction is on ECC. So business don't want to disturb this particular thing. So now what is going to happen is the BW on HANA used to be there within your, now what is happening is we used to have a separate database for this, right? And we used to have some cubes. So we pull the data from here and put into this BW on HANA server and people used to report on this. But only the situation now what is happening is, the advanced thing is, now we got S4 HANA, right?
Correct.
Suite for HANA is come up. Now S4 HANA is again, what is going to be there is, the suite for HANA is, what I can say, for example, it is again an improvement than your ECC on HANA.
Okay.
So first thing is, we had ECC, all your applications like sales, purchasing, and all these table applications used to store the data within your Oracle database, right? So we used to have a lot of tables inside this. Yes. Now the new improvement is, this was stored in your HDD, hard disk. Second improvement, when HANA came up, now first change was we removed this Oracle database and put in the memory so that HANA was put into your BW on HANA. Now once confidence has come up that it is going good, now customers are trying to migrate your ECC database also to HANA database. Now this is known as this is your RAM now, and the database is HANA. And here all your applications, whatever you have it, is as it is. But previously what we are trying to do is, now SAP software is already installed here, and for example I have some table, sales order, VBAK and VBAP, the two tables are there. Now this is in Oracle, say for example. Now these Oracle tables, whatever you have it, once you migrate to HANA, these table structures will be same, the name of the tables will be same, there is no changes at all. Only the difference is, from Oracle database, the same tables we are trying to put in memory only. The data whatever was there before also, the same data will be there here also. This is the migration, direct migration. And applications as well as your ABAP programs will not change, will not see any difference. Right? So that is a major thing what we have to happen at. That is the advantage actually what is happening up. Now because in the application server itself, when you change from Oracle to HANA, in the application server, now SAP is, because why SAP is again popular, is like the code, ABAP code, whatever you have written, if database changed also, is changing also, there is no any changes in the programs. Why? Because we'll be having here in the dialog process, right, in the application server, because I'm not going again, we not confuse it, in the dialog work process. We'll have your ABAP interpreter as well as database interface. What this does is, we write our own SQL code in SAP, which is understood by ABAP, but database interface will see what is the platform here. If it is Oracle, this ABAP, what you written is ABAP SQL, whatever you written, OpenSQL, what you written, that will be converted into your native SQL. If it is HANA, then what will happen is, this syntax in your ABAP for SQL will be same in all the programs. There is no changes. If your database, whatever the database you're using it is not worried about here. So OpenSQL is common to all the databases because that will be understood only by your ABAP interpreter. So that SQL will be dynamically converted to your native SQL. So even if you change your Oracle database to HANA database, now database change, the syntax of HANA and Oracle are different. But still we are not going to worry about, because dynamically your database interface will see the database and convert this OpenSQL to HANA database SQL. So that is the main advantage here. Okay, fine. Now once this is done, see here, for example, I'll take like this. In ECC, even though this is your HANA database, but if I take one sales order, you may be having some 3-4 tables which are linked to each other. And if you see one sales order in ECC server, so this is your header data, the header information. This is your item data, line item data. So you see multiple lines here, more items here. And this is your schedule line data from another table. So one sales order has to get from 3-4 tables from your ECC, because this is in RDBMS system. We don't want to store the whole data within one single table, but we have split this data into multiple tables. So for one order, for example, order ID 100, right? So one order will be there in the header, only one order ID and header information will be there here. So in item data, for one order, material M1 quantity 10, order number 100, M2 quantity 20, order number 100, material ID 20. So total quantity purchased by this order 100 is 50. So this line item wise, each item wise, this data will be there in the second table, right? And each item, if you are telling 20, then again this 20 has to be delivered in two different dates. When you are going to deliver it, because I have stock out of 20, only 10 is there. So I will deliver this 10 today, and another 10 I have to procure it and do it. So next month I will try to send it. This is the date when I'm trying to send this delivery dates to the customer. So this quantities with the delivery dates will be there in the third table. That is your schedule in data. Now here, whenever I'm trying to view one order in ECC, what will happen is, first this has to join with this table and find out, for this is order ID 100, it will search for order ID 100 in this table also, right? Then it means, for example, if you have 1 million records here, this order has to search within this 1 million records where this 100 is there. For example, 101 is there, again it has to search within 1 million records here. So the main problem here, what is happening is, even when I'm trying to split the data, for one record for every record it has to go to 1 million times, then the searching is going to take a long time. So now what is happening in S4 HANA is, instead of having for one application multiple tables, right? For sales, delivery, like this, in finance also, we have accounts receivable, accounts payable, general ledger. See, GL accounting will be there, asset accounting will be there, accounts payable will be there, accounts receivable will be there. So there are a lot of different modules, and they use all different tables. Multiple tables will be there for each and everything. On top of this, you will have different applications using all this modules, tables and all. And this, for example, GL, if I say, I have to link with multiple tables here, right? I have to link with multiple tables here. Cool. In S4 HANA, what is the architecture they're going to make is, instead of making multiple tables for the finance, right? Now the system is going to become like this. If you're, in the first class I told you, like the data throughput in the HANA database, 100 GB of data per second. If that much speed is there, then why should I link all these things and do this? Then why can't I store all this data into one table only? So for all these applications, now SAP, what they're doing is, they're not having multiple clusters of tables. We'll have a single table in your HANA database that they call it as AC Doka. AC DOCA. Because I don't want to have multiple tables linked up. See, for one particular record, I have to, if there are 1 million records here, again I have to go for search by 1 million, where that particular order ID 100 is there. Like this, if I have 1 million into 1 million times, it has to search for one table to another table. Again, this table has to search for another table. So there is a lot of wastage of time. We don't want to do that. So instead, now the new architecture of your SAP ECC, now ECC, before we call this ECC now, and which ECC was having a lot of tables inside this. Instead, now the new architecture of your ERP is, will not have for finance all these tables for multiple modules. We'll have for all modules only all the data of this particular thing will be stored in one single table only, without any joining. Let the repetition be there, no problem. But still, I'll try to put all the data into one single table. So that on top of this, you'll have your finance, for example, general ledger, then asset accounting, then on top of this, accounts payable. All applications as it is before we had it will be there. So they always read from this data from here. So this is the main physical table. But if you tell that for one table, why I should have this many applications, but subject oriented data should be visible to all the people. This guy should not see the data from the whole table. Then on top of this particular table, we create some views. So this, they'll be using this views. For this AP, we'll use views. So physical table only will be for the finance, only one table. But master data, other things will be there, but transaction wise, AC Doka. Right? Then after that, all applications will use the intermediate views. Views will take the data from this table. So this whole architecture of reducing your tables and making it a single table, so that my performances will be good for this. So we call this as simple finance. So we are using finance applications here and finance tables. This package is known as Simple Finance, and Simple Finance will be installed in HANA database. You should have an Oracle means this architecture will not work out. Then it will go very slow, damn slow. So we don't want to use it. So database should be HANA. So now this new ECC suite which has come up is based on your S4 HANA. Suite, that is your ERP suite for HANA, which is ERP suite which is running on HANA. The new architecture we call it as suite for HANA. So the application which you're using is Simple Finance. For logistics, we have the same package like this, which you call it as a Simple Logistics. So these are two things which are running in the hot in the market. Simple Logistics. Cool. Now over a period of time, now SAP is telling that no, we will not be using this architecture. Everyone has to shift to S4 HANA architecture only. Fine. Okay. So currently this is BW on HANA, and let me log in into the system. Yep.
So in future, SAP will stop supporting for ECC.
Yeah. Over a period of another say 10 years. Yeah, they have the plans to stop up ECC, and it will be on suite on HANA only. S4 HANA only.
Okay, then
But it takes some time. But still, yeah, they're telling to go into S4 HANA only. Right? Okay. Now coming to this, when I gone to this BW and HANA, so the application is running in the Linux system, and if you want to find out what database this particular BW server is running, then I can go for help or go to system, click on status. So go to system, click on status. So this is your operating system. This is Linux, and the server name is BW big data underscore BW01. Yes. So the operating system is on Linux, and the database is HDB. HDB means always this will be constant, HANA database. And you can find out the release from here itself that my BW is running on 1.x, and this is SP12, service pack 12. And what is the system ID? The system ID given is HDB only, and this is the instance number. Okay, instance number is 00. I can have multiple instances within my HANA database, like multi-tenant database in cloud. Every customer will have his own space. So it will be 01 for one customer, 02 another instance for another customer. So like this we can have multiple instances for multiple. So there is a multi-tenant database what we created. And the server in which it is created is big data 1. And second thing is in which schema this particular database, my whole BW tables will be created. So this is what you have to find it out. This is important. So this is created in SAP ABAP 1 schema. So if I come to HANA Studio now, as I shown you here, the schema, because before installation of your BW itself, it will create this schema first in your HANA. Then all your tables which are needed for SAP will be loaded under this particular tables. These are all your default tables here. Your Mara, VBAK, this everything and all will be there within the HANA itself here. Correct? So currently only 1000 are there. Still we can see what our tables we want to check it from here. Cool. Fine then. So this is how we try to connect to this. Now, the new trend, what is going to happen is when I come to your BW perspective, now my server is on. Now from HANA Studio, if I want to log in into my BW and start doing development without going to SAP GUI, before we used to do the development within the SAP GUI, right? Now in BW for HANA, all the development, there will be no administration tab, because I'll try to show here. When I go to RSA1, go to info provider. So you can see here, right? This is your DSOs and we have some info cubes here. So normally from ECC, we load the data into your info cubes in BW and start analyzing. This is an OLAP system. So BW is a OLAP system. So in OLAP system, we have cubes and we try to load the data into this particular cubes from your ECC. So we do some transformation, cleansing, ETL and all from different store sources. We pull it, load the data into the cube, and with the BEX analyzer or BO, we can start reporting the data over this. All right. Say for example, if you want to see how the data is inside this, I'll right click it, go to manage. You can see that there are 0 records, no records on this. So for example, there is a purchasing cube, go to manage, and if you see here, there are some 900 records within the cube, and you want to see the contents in this. After loading the data from a remote source, you can see this data which is loaded. Now the reporting tools will try to read the data from this particular cube. Okay, so this is only an idea what I'm trying to give it. Now from B4 HANA, the next version BW on HANA, after the new version again already come up, so that is known as B4 HANA. So from B4 HANA, modeling will not be done from your SAP RSA1. So that has to be done, all this modeling on everything, right? All your info providers, info objects, info sources, data sources, source systems, everything will be done within your HANA Studio only. Now how to do this? When you go to your BW perspective, and or I'll go to the remote BW perspective. Let me go to the system. So it'll ask me the username and password. BW repository. Now SAP demo, all right. You can see here info cubes. So this is how we try to see the data here. So all your things which are there is already available here. Now when I want to just right click this, okay, or when I double click this, it opens your SAP GUI, the modeling part of it directly from here itself. Right, this is your info cube. You want to go back like RSA1, you can directly tick from here itself. Then you find your info providers and everything which you can do from your BW. What you're doing from SAP GUI, we'll do it from the HANA Studio itself. Okay, now if you want to create anything like from the info area, now we want to create new. So you want to create a source system, if you want to create a new info object, or open ODS, composite providers, DSOs, advanced, this is ADSOs, or data flows, everything will be created from your HANA Studio itself. Okay. Good. All the reportings also will be done. All your queries, everything will be done from your HANA Studio itself. Cool. Fine. This is for one purpose. And if you want to do any ABAP programming and other things and all, then I have to go for ABAP perspective. Within the ABAP perspective, let me log in as an so you can see here packages. This is my $temp, within my ABAP. And this is for CDS views creation, because the new technique which you're using now is your CDS, all your dictionary. And when you come to your source code library, you have got your classes, right? We can create this in ABAP also. As well, if you go for your Z programs and other programs and all, yes, I can create my programs directly here also, right? Say for example, I take some program as, we'll double click this. Within the HANA Studio itself, you can open this ABAP programs, right? Now I can execute it directly from here. You can see the data directly from here. Cool. So creation of your programs, so classes, functions, everything can be done within your HANA Studio itself now. So this is only an idea what I'm trying to give you, that you can open your ABAP development as well as the BW development from the HANA Studio. This will be the HANA Studio will be the core now for us, not only at the database level development, for the BW sake as well as for your ABAP, all developments will be done from your, as well as the Java development will be done from your HANA Studio itself. Okay. Say for example, and when you want to do your Java development, then we have web pages from here. So you'll have your index page, right? All your codings can be done from here. This is your advanced XSJS development, which will be done from here. Okay, your index.html. Now, once you developed it, you want to test it. So now click on that. You can check it this directly from here itself. Okay, or directly I can go for my HTML page. See, this is what we try to get this. The coding, whatever is there, that goes directly within your inspect. You can debug and do the things within this. But this is all the HTML development. This is known as UEFI development, which is going to happen. User interface file. Okay, so Java developers, because no need to worry that you're not going to do all the things. So the people who are working on Java mostly, right? Java, .NET and other things and all, they will go for your Java development. The people who are working on the BW, they go for your BW perspective. ABAPers will go for ABAP. The guys who are trying to do a native HANA, so we try to work on HANA only, right? Cool. So next, our point here is, okay, this is the views. Second is, in order to open your perspective, this is a shortcut for the perspective. Otherwise, you can go to window, open perspective. Then from there, you can go to others and see the same window from here. There's a shortcut also here from here, right? So you can open the Project Explorer or Navigator, whichever window you want to open it. So you can show your view also, open the views as well as close the views. And we can customize whichever view you want to display, that we can set it up here. And a reset perspective. So when you go to Windows, when you click on reset perspective, then for example, some windows, this is closed, right? So you're confused, like, I want to come back to my initial screen here. Now go to this, then perspective, we can have a reset perspective here. So do you want to reset the current one? Yes. When it closes the whole thing, then it comes to your Java J2E, and all Windows views, whatever the default is there, it will come to this particular thing. Okay, but default for us will be your modeling perspective, which you'll be working on. Cool. And when you come to the modeling perspective, so we have your navigator pane, as well as we have one more pane here called view, called your quick view. This is like your shortcut desktop like. And normally if I close it out and I can go for my window or help. So in the help, you'll be finding this quick view. Just click on this. You'll be able to see import files and other things can be done from here. So I'll come to later, but just this is also one important window for us within the modeling. Okay, so this is what we try to do is when you start this HANA Studio, first come to your SAP HANA Modeler. Then second point is we need to log into your system. So just I'll show you how to create a user today, but don't create any new users. I'll create a users and give it. But for the demonstration, I'll try to create one user and show you how to connect to the SAP HANA Studio. Fine. I'll come to the system. The system is like SAP user, super user. Now under the system, let me go to the security. Under the security, I have users, and you can see the list of users under this. Now I'm trying to create a new user here. The username here will be given as, say for example, a remote user or user 1. The password I give it here as, say for example, initial 123. Now do you want the user to change the password at the next logon, or you don't want to do this, right? So what it is given here, password my head list, uppercase, lowercase, special. Okay, 123 hash. Sorry, I give it as initial 123 hash and hash. Right, the simple, create a user, give the password and click on deploy. So user has been created. Nothing to do. Now what you have to do is, whenever a user is created, now we need to log in, because normally in the real-time projects also, the administrator will tell that, okay, user has been created for you and your user is our user 1, and he will send the password also. That is initial 123 hash is what I given it. Now, how to log on into that particular database using that username and password. So what you have to do is just go to the systems. Within this, here in the top, right, you'll have an add system. Click on add system, and you need to provide your host name, the server where your HANA is running, and what is the instance number, whether it is a single container or multi-container, right? That I told, right, single node or multi nodes, as well as the this is your single container, this is for multi-tenant database, we'll have this one. Okay, so the host name will be bigdata.sap.com, the server name, and the instance number of my server is 00. So here description can be anything, I can do anything, but the user for me, what I'm going to use it is our user 1. I'll give it as from system HDB. Okay, I can give any text here. Click on next. Now you have to provide your username and password. So username created is our user 1, and the password is initial 123 hash, what I given it. Now click on next and click on finish. Now authentication is successful. Now we're given this, right, whenever you create a user, it should go for forcing a change of the password. So I'll give it as initial 123 hash and India 123 hash. So you can give your own. In the projects, what you have to do is whatever the administrator has given it, so you'll be giving your secured username and password. Now click on OK. Password has been changed and a connection is being created here. You can see here HDB is the HANA database instance server name, and this is the user with which you have been logged in, and this is a description what you've given for that particular login. Cool. Now when you log in into the HANA database for a user, there will be 4 folders. One is your catalog, another is your content, third is your provisioning, fourth is your security. So we're not worried about security, but still in our course we have security. We'll be covering catalog, content, provisioning. This is for your smart data access, right? So we'll be covering all the 4 areas. Yes. So point 1 is your catalog. Now whenever a user is being created, for this particular user, now you will be having your own space for working with the tables and other things. So a default user will be created with the same new name of your database user. So database user is our user 1, what I've created, and there will be a schema by default which will be created, that is known as your R user 1. Under this you can see that you can create functions, you can create your own indexes, procedures, sequences, synonyms, tables, triggers and views, right? Cool. So now I can right click here and go for creating a new table here. Fine then. So I'll show one table. Right? What I can do is we can create directly from here. Otherwise what I can do is I can just select my schema here, click on this Open SQL. So I can just create with the help of my SQL code also. So I'll take one SQL code, say for example material master. I'll copy this, Control C, copy this code. Now for creating a table, we'll give it as create column table, material underscore master, matmast, within the bracket, mat ID, this is a column name, nrchar, the length is 18, I'm going to make this as primary key, comma, second column, material group, material type and own material ID. After this, I just close this with the semicolon. If it is a single statement, then semicolon is not required, but if there are multiple statements and you want to execute all at a time, then each statement has to be separated by semicolon. So now what I will do is first I'll go step by step. So first I want to create a table, create column table, because in HANA we have a special table called column table. Normal databases will not have column table, but in HANA we have row table as well as column table. And when I click on execute, you can see in the bottom that this particular statement is successfully executed, and this is a time which has been taken, 5 milliseconds for executing this, right? So when this is created, now I can just right click this, go for refresh. You see the table has been created. Now if you want to see the structure of the table, just right click, go to open definition. So mat ID, metal group, metal type and old metal ID, and this is your data type, and this is the length of this is a table, this one. Okay, this is the structure of the table, and if you want to see the data from here directly with using your graphical one, then go for your open content. So directly executing the statement, select top 1000 from your table. This is a schema name dot your table name. Currently there is no data, so you're not able to see this. Next, in order to insert the data inside the table, I'll give the statement as insert into mat underscore mast values, now metal ID, metal group, metal type and your old metal ID within single quote. The literals will be there within the single quote. You have to give it. Strings has to be within with your single quote. Okay. Now I'm taking all, so you have to select this. You can select this multiple statements and click on execute, or you can use F8 as a shortcut button. So once done, the data has been inserted. So you can see that select insert statement was successfully done. Then after that, just right click, open the content. You can see the data within this table. Or you want to write an SQL statement, then you can write it as select star from mat underscore mast. Now select only this statement. Now click on execute. You see the data table here. Cool. Or if you want to create a new table from the scratch with GUI, then go for create new table. What is the name of the table you're going to create? For example, EMP table. Then in which schema you're going to create this, and what type of table you're going to create, whether it is a row table or column table or table type. Table type, I'll tell you what is a table type later, but mainly we'll be using column store as well as row store. So let's take a column store. Now I'll give here as EMP ID varchar. What is the length of this? You want to make it up 10. Then click on plus. Then for example department. Say for example 2. Then after that salary. You can give it as, for example, you can find out the different types of things here, and you can give, for example, as 10, 2. Okay, now just execute this. The statement is executed. Now go for refresh. You'll see this particular table here, that is EMP table created. So you'll be having two types of tables. One is your column table. We can see this is a column table which has been created. This is a symbol. And the same thing, if you want to create as a row table, let me take this as create a row table, matmast1 with the same structure. Now click on execute. Now go to the tables, click on refresh. Now can you see here, this is a material master, and the icon here shows this is column wise, right? And material master 1 is a row table here, which is here it is horizontal symbol. That means it is a row table. So tomorrow, or the day of tomorrow, again I'll be going for what is the differences between a row table and column table, and what is the performance as well as architectural differences. We'll try to discuss in detail. First I want to give you an idea like how this row table looks like and how this column table looks like. And if you want to insert the data inside this particular row table, and I need to change this, for example, I'll give this as Control F. And let me take this as Control E. Matmast replace with matmast1. So you just want to change the name of the table, replace all. So I just put this insert into matmast1 table, the second table I'm trying to insert here. Done. Now we can give it as select star from matmast1. Whether it is a column table or row table, the funda is same. Only thing is you'll see only the difference within the performance when there are some millions and billions of records within the database. If it is a row table, if you're using millions and billions of records, it may take, for example, 5 minutes. But when you go for your column table, it may take some second or nanosecond for that. Okay. So performance, when there more data is there, the column table reading will be faster. But inserting the data into a column table will be slower than your row table. So whenever you're trying to do analytics, then better is your column table. And when you're using for your transaction purpose, then your row table will be better for that. Okay, fine. So that's for today. And we'll try to meet tomorrow at the same time. And I'll see the timing also, say for example, which you can do it. So plan first, we'll try to keep at 9 o'clock tomorrow, right? Any doubts from your side?
Have you any idea what is the ID for this